Hi, Luminaires. How are you today? We were just talking about how are you over on Facebook earlier today. And the task was to honestly respond when somebody says, how are you? I just came off of a very amazing healing with my friends Janet Raftis, Emily First, and Rod Bravo over on Learn It Live. And I am high as a kite. Oh my God. High as a kite. And I love it. Ben, what are you shouting out? I see some of you were over there on the Learn It Live. Ramel, welcome to Luma Light. I cannot wait. Thank you for joining our YouTube membership, our Luma Light. You will get to join the book clubs. And behind us are the books that we have read. The one we're reading now is The Field by Lynn McTaggart. And then one we're going to read after that is going to be the autobiography of a yogi. And you also get our monthly meditations. And remember, you can access those because they've been recorded. So you can go back and listen to all the meditations that we have. We've been doing this now for a year. They're really, really wonderful edited music. And I am going to be collaborating with a D, and I would say your name, your last name, but I cannot pronounce it, for music. He's going to be designing some music just for our meditations on our YouTube membership. I cannot wait for that. Incredible. Josie Plankton, you're here. Been thinking about you so much. I'd love to introduce you to my friend, Marta Pires, who does past life regression work. And Josie runs the Luminaires United Facebook page, where people get together and get to talk about all the spiritual things and have created a safe community and a safe haven. It's really, really wonderful. Josie, I just really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for just providing that page and taking care of it and allowing a space for all of us to gather. It's huge. Today, we're going to talk about human awakening versus the spiritual awakening. What was it? I gave a poll out 2 days ago, and a lot of you voted. And guess where it landed? Was it the human awakening? No, it was not. It was like this. Human awakening, 37 votes, 37%, not 37 votes, 37%. Spiritual awakening, it was 63%. So the majority of you out there agree that the spiritual awakening is the one to really focus on, the one kind of like why we're here. So I'm going to provide an argument. Dun, dun, dun. Put your gloves on, people. Let's battle this out. Katie is like, yeah, that was a trick question, right? Kind of, but no. Don says, I wasn't sure what defined a human awakening, so I chose spiritual. That's really good to say. What does define a human awakening? So a few months back, we were trans-channeling with Grace, and Grace came in and started talking about the human awakening and about the importance of being human. And Colleen shared the message with me, and I sat with it, and I have been thinking about it ever since. What is so important about this? What are we doing here, right? We ask this sometimes, but maybe we land on, oh, it's like a school and we're here to learn lessons. Or maybe this is part of my karma or my punishment. Or maybe I'm here to experience the variations of love. Sari is saying, as we are humans, I would like to be an awake human. Yeah, ditto. So once you identify whatever it is of why you came here, I want to highlight how that definition might be more useful, might be more in alignment of why you are here. So I would like, by the end of our conversation, in hopes to broaden our possibility or our maybes away from driving ourselves towards a spiritual awakening and bringing it more into balance of a human awakening. Eric says it takes human awakening before you can get into the spiritual awakening. I appreciate that one, yes. Katie's been saying, like, can you have one without the other? Gotcha thinking. Lorena says, why spiritual awaken? It's better than human awakening because once you're awake on a spiritual level, first, you cannot come back unawakened if you select to come back to learn more or to help Earth. Do we know that for certain, though? Do you think, you being a plural word, not just back at you, but the plural, are there rules that govern when we come back, when we don't come back, and why? Is there really a structure? From the 30 years of diving in, talking to the deceased, talking to angelic beings, multidimensional beings, I have yet to find the absolute structure of why we're here. It always comes back to you decided to come back. The individual decided. The individual was attracted to it. The individual was the one who picked the family, who picked the destiny, who kind of shaped this life. The individual agreed. There was no God or higher structure or even a karmic structure that has ever been taught to me that said, because of what happened, you are now coming back. And I have not heard in an absolute structured way that once you have achieved an awakening, that you no longer get to come back or have to come back. So, hello, let's talk about that. Why aren't we talking about it more? So it got me into this place. I feel we're here as humans, and this is my experience. We're all going to be different, to experience different variations of love. Ben says, I know a lot of humans who say they don't want to come back due to a shitty set of circumstances he or she or they have experienced in this incarnation. Yeah, like, oh, I'm going to learn all of this now and I'm going to be done. I've heard that one too. I've heard it's so bad, I'm not coming back. I've heard I'm going to learn everything in this lifetime and I'm not coming back. And it's like the little being inside of me goes, okay, I'm listening to you. You don't want to come back, but time's not linear, first of all. So your I'm not coming back has already happened, and you're living all of your incarnations at once. So there's that point. And to link the reward and punishment to incarnation, I think is, oh, I'm going to say it, guys, please. I think it's ignorant. I think it's a very human thing to do. And I think we're not really playing with a human set of rules when we talk about incarnation, especially when we talk about balance. Balance is not good or bad. Balance is not one or the other. Balance is a triangle. It's this, that, and the element that's measuring it or holding it together. It's you, me, and the relationship we have. That's the balance. Shelley, can't you come back as many times as you feel like, even if you want to experience being human? Does there need to be a lesson? There does not need to be a lesson. And Colleen makes a beautiful point. If you love the YouTube live streams, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. We do our best to come on Fridays around 1 o'clock, and we're a little behind today, and just chat about energy-centric topics. Maybe it's lesson, maybe it's a little bit of healing, or like today, it's putting some gloves on and let's have a discussion. Spiritual awakening versus human awakening. So I agree with Shelley. From what I've seen to doing readings, we can incarnate for any cause, purpose, or reason that we see fit. The beauty of who we are as falsely identified as separate entities, because we are a part of a whole, is that we have the freedom to create our own structures. It's unfortunate to really dig down and say, wow, we are all existing without this big major structure. I say it's unfortunate because as humans, we're used to having structure in place to create safety for all, right? Don't run, walk around the pool. We've got rules to keep it safe, man. When we look at our lives, why we're here, there aren't really those set of rules. So what are you going to do about it? Ben says, oh, here's a mind F. It's time, an illusion. Are all our incarnations out there being lived at the same time? Yes, they are. Mary Misty is sharing, some of the children that have been born recently in future won't have any karma. My question is, what is karma? We can get into that too. Sheldon says, okay, aren't all our lives going on at once? So if there's no coming back and we're all living our lives at the same time, there's no time and space. Correct, Sheldon. So why are we linking a reward punishment towards our incarnations? We're here for a purpose. Josie Plankton, the one who runs our Facebook Luminaires Unite page. Actually, it's hers. I currently think we're descending frequency to experience human adventures and have connection. Yes. And what's the importance in it? Like, there's got to be a value or importance into it, or why would we do it? Why would we choose to come and do this? You know, as humans, we seek community. That's natural. We seek kindness and love. As spiritual beings, we do the same. So why this human experience? To me, from 30 years of reading, not finding an ultimate structure that says what's right or what's wrong and when you have to do something, and when something is wrong, how you have to do it again and repeat it and make it right to be that quality person or that good spiritually awakened person. I haven't heard it. I haven't found it, guys. I haven't come across it. I see it in books written by people. I hear it talked about people, from people, but I haven't heard it from source or from spirit. So I linger. For me, I find the human awakening, which you guys voted at 37%, in this case is going to be more valuable. As some of you Luminaires have mentioned, you don't think that you can have one without the other. The human awakening is discovering what your purpose is here as a person. And I'm not talking about, tell me about your career and what you do for a living. No, like, yes, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you that you do that. But why are you here on Earth in this time frame? What are you linked to? What are you contributing? What are you learning? I think the majority of us right now on Earth are learning that we don't have to be inside the box. We're learning how to find our voice. We're learning how to say no thank you to a 9-to-5 job. No thank you to, oh gosh, wearing shoes. How's that one? Because I don't frequently wear shoes. Saying, no thank you, I don't want to follow in your footsteps because I have a preference to this over here. It's the empowerment of the personal preference without aligning to being egocentric. You know, we're not tipping the scale. We're not saying I got to get out of the box because I'm following somebody else and I want to be all about me and my ego and feed it so much that it's out of balance. It's actually saying, I'm coming out of the box, of the tradition, of the indoctrinated belief system, of the old paradigm, and I'm stepping into a new one. I'm coming out of 3D and I'm coming into 5D, coming away from just thinking all the time and knowing stuff to actually an emotional intelligence, that I'm guiding my life through an emotional intelligence. And that's all human. All of it's human. It'll have spiritual influences, but I'm talking about your body and your instrument and why you incarnated now. For me, the human awakening is so valuable. Jessica Briggs is like, and don't forget to say no thank you to being polite, which is something that she's practicing. Kiara, you like my not wearing shoes? Oh. And Sari is saying, well, you know, aren't we here to serve the earth? I love that because she's been ignored for so long. You know, we haven't had a rich awakening about the service for the earth. We've had a very rich awakening and relationship with how the earth can serve us, but not vice versa yet. And I do feel like we are getting into that because that is part of the human experience. Trisha N says, life, I think, is about learning to find joy and love and bringing love to life and the human experience, regardless of our external circumstances. I like it, Trisha. So here we have this opportunity to be back in a human life and looking at the joy of it. If we overstep what our human needs are, if we fail to learn how to take care of our bodies, what are we really failing on? Right? There's so many of us that don't feel good. We could easily change a diet, right? We could develop a discipline to take care of ourselves. We can cure our allergies. We can even cure our cancers. We can even cure our suffering and why we feel certain ways if we don't enjoy it. But several of us choose not to. We choose to take the victim. We choose to persevere because maybe perseverance is the lesson. No pain, no gain. We come up with all kinds of excuses. Put your head down, just push through, wake up, you'll make it. Fake it till you make it. All of these things. I think it's robbing us of a human experience. Get up, go to school, go to college, get a job, work 9 to 5. Give your talent, your attention, your treasures, your time to somebody else so that they can govern something larger, contribute. What about I? Not in the egocentric way. What about the slowing down and looking at this? What do I want to offer to the world? What do I want to contribute and connect to? What's really happening when we don't take care of ourselves? I mean, yes, the cause and effect, we can get sick and things can go awry, but why are you here? If you took on this body and you took on this life, do you think it might perhaps have to do with slowing down to figure out how the human instrument really works? What would happen if you had the freedom to really dive into who you are? And you didn't have to invest into a career and a system that's monetarily driven so that you can survive. What would happen? Maybe a deeper love came out. Maybe you found out you loved yourself so much that you had an abundant amount of love for your neighbor. And that when your neighbor was in need, there was no question you would walk over, feed, clothe, care for. What would community look like? The human connection. It's something to be aware of. Would you look at how you feed yourself and observe your nutritional levels? Would you take better care of your body? And in learning how to prioritize yourself that way and to care for you, what else would it unlock? What would it unleash? What would it open up? I think the beauty about being human is about the human awakening. And once we step into the human awakening and we prioritize keeping our feet here on the earth because that's what we chose and stop daydreaming all the time about that spiritual goal that's out and up and over there and start falling in love with why we're here, we're going to be a whole hell of a lot happier. Kara says, Jamie, I forgot how uplifting you are. So, thank you. KDP says, the human awakening is associated with emotional intelligence, purpose, etc. Then I agree. It's much more important to have the experience over spiritual awakening. I know as soon as we leave this human body, then all we have is the spiritual awakening. And I love you right now. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to get there. This life will end at one point. And you'll get there. And then you'll say, my spiritual awakening. But while you were here, what did you give yourself? Did you constantly look at the golden ring and the prize that was out there vibrationally that you strive for? which sets your whole body vibrationally to live in the future. I know time is not linear, but to live out there instead of in the now moment. In a now moment, what would you give yourself? Connie Love says, we're here to just be, experience life, smell the smells, feel the air, see the beauty in everything. I love it. See the beauty in everything, in all of it. Even when you wake up and your hair is all crazy and you can't fix it, or you wake up and you realize you put on 20 pounds and you didn't know it, but your clothes don't fit. You find a beauty in it. If it doesn't resonate with you, you find the opportunity to create the change. You prioritize yourself. Shelleyham says, it would be interesting to see how it would be if people could make those changes to be happy. We have many people on earth who are doing it now. Often when we come across them, we look at them as strangers. Who gives you the right to be that way? You're so eccentric. You're outside of the norm. I can't accept you because I don't understand you. So many people. What would it be like if you saw them and said, why are you like that? Can you tell me about yourself? And then get to listen to their story about how connected they are to never wearing a pair of shoes again. I'm really pitching that one hard, guys. I just don't want to wear shoes. Be a God experience itself. Yes, says Amy Garcia. Colleen, thank you. Is that the link to the Learn It Live? Oh, that's awesome. That's the one. Is that the one where Grace is talking about the human experience? Oh, Shelleyham, I'm squeezing on you right now. Thank you so much for the financial energy. She says, Jake, thanks, Jamie. I needed a lift today. Your messages are always encouraging me to be a better person. Yay. Kiara, you're with me, man. We just need to take pictures of our barefoot feet. Oh, somebody, Dawn, you're mentioning at Strange Fruit. I don't know this link, so I'm excited to hear about that. Definitely will check that out. So in listening to this and wrestling with the spiritual awakening and the human awakening, where would you reside now? Would we be voting for the spiritual strive? As I get a lot of students that come in and they go, okay, I want to learn how to see spirit. I'm like, I can teach you that. Okay, I want to learn how to talk to them and communicate with them. I'm like, I can teach you that. I want to learn how to trans-channel. Great, I can teach you that. And you know what the first lesson is in all of it? Is to get to know who you are first. You're the instrument. If you don't know you and you can't connect to you, what your vices are, how you think, how you feel, why you think, your knee-jerk reactions, why they're there, where they come from. If you don't have the strength to ask why internally and reassess things, then the whole seeing energy and communicating to spirits and trance channeling, that's going to be quite a journey for you. But those that achieve it quicker in what they're looking for or understand, it's because they started with themselves first. Got to get into the you first. Wendy, I'm throwing you in the ring of no shoes. Kiara, Wendy, me, no shoes. I love seeing you here today. Wendy, I think of you so much in your situation in life as you're standing in this question we're talking about. 1 foot in the human world and you have 1 foot in the afterlife. Your life is giving you so many options to work with. And so you're so welcome, Wendy. I do. I send you these like pink little love hugs and energies and boosts. But, looking at somebody in your situation who is either working with a terminal illness or a disease or end of their life for whichever reason, and they're standing in this place of opportunity. What's it like? Are you cherishing being human more? Or are you cherishing about letting it go? I'm curious and asking. So you're voting the human. Yeah? These two awakenings, says Katie, could happen simultaneously, no? Or be a trigger for each other. Yeah, they could be a trigger for each other. And I'm all for the possibility of things I don't understand and having it all happen at once. Absolutely. Wendy, I pop in your head too. I wonder if we're doing it at the same time. Sending you such big love. Oh, Kira's saying the same thing. Let's all hug Wendy. Hugging Wendy. Hugging you. Luminaires, I love you guys so much. You really mean the world to me. I wake up and I think about what offerings I could bring to the table. I acknowledge how you feed my purpose and wanting to teach and share. And I just get very, very grateful for these opportunities. Tammy Miller. At Wendy Nelson, I'm sending you hug loves right at this moment. It's so beautiful. So here we are. Human experience. Let's go out there and grab that human awakening. Let's find the million of reasons, again, why you chose to do this life. Even if you're still stuck in a judgment zone of this is good, this is bad, and I have these rewards and I have these punishments, or you're believing in some kind of measurement, let's step back from it a little bit more. Why did you come here? What do you really want to do? And sometimes in readings, people call me and they're like, okay, I just don't know what to do with my life. I don't know where to begin. And I heard a spirit say one time, well, what would you do for a hobby? What do you like doing for a hobby? And they mentioned something and they go, oh, it's fascinating, tell me more. And they had the person talk about their hobby, that one thing that they would just love to do. No money attached to it, just want to do it. And they go, great. Now, how about we start doing that hobby? And then when the person called back in for another session, like months later, the person was so happy to go, oh, I'm doing this hobby. It was kayaking. And oh God, that's great. The kayaking is going well. They bought a kayak. They actually met some friends. And then their spirit guide was like, okay, now we're going to look at how to make this a career, because this is how you build your human awakening. You take what brings you joy and you invest in that. It's not about investing into the structures that were put out there by somebody else for you. And they gave structure to a kayaking business and a touring thing, which is happening today, and it's going well. Like, take that and start small and find your love and human awakening. Lee Nichols, thank you so much for the financial energy. That's so wonderful. In honor of my daughter, Bobby, I wish you could be with me for my birthday next week. I miss you so much. Oh my gosh, Lee, I'm squeezing you. How young are you going to be? It's always how young. It's never how old, right? Do what makes you happy. Shine that individual light. Thank you again for that. That is so sweet. Oh, Connie, I like that statement. I came here to spread love, light, energy to help humanity ascend. I align with that one. I've always considered myself as like the kindergarten teacher. I'm going to talk about the basic stuff and just bring it forward in a big and beautiful way and talk about the big stuff in a very simplistic way. Dawn's like, okay, Dawn, you put on your gloves. Thank you. She's got her gloves on. She goes, doesn't being spiritually awakened help you be a better human? Like, meaning to live in the moment, understand everyone on their own journey, and not to be so judgmental? Yes, if those are qualities you're tucking up under spirituality. But when we get to the other side and we have our spiritualness, from what I've understood for the last 30 years, is they don't have judgment on that side. Do you hear that bird? That bird cracks me up. It sounds like somebody laughing. um, you, it's so funny. So, when we get over there, we don't have judgments. We accept all that is. When we get over there, there's no more cause and effect. So for me, those are very human qualities. The act of acceptance for me is very human. That's why we're here. That's why we're vibrating in this denser, lower vibrational frequency, so that we have those perimeters and boundaries and that we have a good time exploring them. But as soon as we crawl out of this and leave this lifetime, we're not going to be working with them anymore, are we? Because we're here. The birdie's laughing with us. I love that bird so much. Katie P, the Libra in me is arguing herself mad. Espen Hug says, what do people mean with what do people mean with there not being any right versus wrong? I don't understand how all the good or the bad things are neutral or equal. It sounds like every act is worthless. Right, I struggle with that. Now we've got the dog involved. I struggle with that as well. When I like to add in there as well, it's been like boring, dry, like where's the purpose? But what it's coming from, I'm going to do my best to make some sense of this, is looking at the actions of what we're doing. If we remove the act of judgment, we can have acceptance. So we can have our opinions. I like it. I don't like it. Nobody's asking you to strip yourself of those opinions. But good and bad are judgments. They're measurements that only you have created or chosen to believe in. Some good actions are very terrible for others or for the earth. Plastic, we're like, amazing. That thing is incredible. We could do so much with plastic, and the earth is going, that is the worst thing ever. I can't. Some good or bad things that happen, are good for others. And so when we live by the segment of judgment and we come across as absolute good and bad, it's not doing us any justice or help in finding community and openness and awareness. So it's not about it being dry or mundane, but it is about acknowledging that they're not absolutes. Maybe that is a good place to start. I hope that helps. Ben, you're so sweet. I'm loving on you. Thank you so much for the financial energy. That is very, very kind, and I appreciate that. She says, I love you to infinity and beyond. Ghost emojis, yay! I definitely want to put on some more ghost emojis. I'm doing my best to read comments, and it is just a scrolling. Jessica Lauren, I know I'm chiming in late, but I see that there are other fellow Libras here. Yay! Shout out to those Libras. Lee, we're having that thing, right? I hate plastic. I know. Yeah, Espen is like, yep, it's all relative, of course. It's relative. But it's so strange how we've been taught to just be so absolute with our words. And we're actually more fluid creatures. Human is not absolute. Human is fluid. So let's have a good time with that. You guys are just awesome. I would love to hear the ways, before we close up, the ways that you guys might want to go out there and experience more human awakening, more responsibility over the self, Are you feeling motivated or called to change your diet, to get more sleep, maybe to exercise, practice mindfulness, be aware of how you feel, from nonviolent communication expression or language to mindfulness and how you think, maybe reading The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, or exercising. Oh, I don't know of an exercise guru, but I love Kundalini energy. I hope to be in another certification in fall with it, but we'll see. More time in the ocean. Wendy, I love it. These are great. What others? What? Making connections and reconnections with friends. Wicked Witch one. I love it. I also really love your YouTube handle. That's clever. I feel called to practice mindfulness, and I think that's why I align with you. Oh, thank you so much, Melodama. Kara, I started a vegetable garden, a meter, because I realized I wasn't connected with the earth. So getting connected to earth, I love it. Je suis gay. Connecting to our higher self feels like hanging out with yourself. Haha, it does. I love it. Car Fisher, I've been having the insatiable urge to live off the grid. Oh my gosh, me too. So maybe this is a goal that you make. 1% by 1%, but give to your human awakening. You are here for great reason and purpose, and you knew it before you were born. Let's get back to that. Brighten this energy and just like, wow, take it and love it. If I still want you to let me know how you guys are going to change that. And as you're writing in your comments, I want to share with you guys that I'm going to do my first class with Psychomantium. This Psychomantium is an energy deprivation room that you can build at home. So the first class, I'm going to teach you how to build one. And the second class, I'm going to teach you how to use it. Raymond Moody brought it forward from ancient times, and it has been studied a lot. And about 40% of the people who use the Psychomantium see full apparitions of their loved ones, which means you are seeing them with your eyeballs in a sensory deprivation room using the act of scrying and being able to have a conversation. I love the Psychomantium. I've built several of them. And so I'm going to teach you guys how to do it. If you are interested in Reiki healing, Reiki to me is like the Band-Aid you keep in your first aid kit. It's like real basic, real awesome. But I'm going to be teaching it coming up May 15th for Reiki level 1, and then level 2 is June 12th. And then also, YouTube members, we're going to shift up some stuff in the membership. I am going to, starting in June, make the energy update for free for all of the Luminaires. And then for the middle tier, where the energy update used to be, I'm going to add in a one-on-one. And so we're going to have time together where you will participate in a poll and pick the topic, and I will teach you. So I could be teaching you how to see energy, how to bend spoons, psychokinesis, telekinesis, some of the classes that I teach over on Learn It Live, and it will be us hanging out and talking about it, and you growing your natural awareness and still getting to connect with the energy update, meditations, and also our book club. Okay, I want to read some. Tammy Miller says, I want a camper to fit all my fur babies in and then go out into the world and spread love and happiness while making new friends and, yes, living off the grid. Yes, Tammy, 1% change. Go for it. What is it? Let's do this. Let's do it. I'm going to plant more trees this year. I have some kind of connection with trees, says Me Lickles. Me too. As the daughter of a tree farmer, I have an infinity to trees. Oh, Lee, if you love trees, let me get you this book. It's right here. Hold on. Stay with me. I love this book. Lee, if you're really into it, The Meaning of Trees. So the pictures are just phenomenal. They have the name, the Latin name, the purpose, and then the spiritual energy and the usages of, it is just delightful. I have probably bought 7 of these, and I keep giving them away to other people who really love trees. So if you're into it, it's a great one. Okay. I know. Who just said that? It just scrolled on me. Somebody said such sweet comments in this chat thread. Luminaires are incredibly awesome and very supportive. You guys are such a unique community. I just love you guys. Let's see. Yep, the meaning of trees. It's an awesome book. Connie's Love says, I want to do that as well with a little converter, but converted school bus and having a hard time getting my husband on board. Well, maybe we can work around that, have some conversations. They are brown, and you've had them on when Jamie is channeling mostly. Oh, I don't know what it is. Lumi Love, yes. Our YouTube membership is really, our first tier is for $4.99, our second tier is $9.99, and our third tier is $19.99. And when you climb up in the tiers, you also get all the offerings that are beneath you. So it just kind of stacks. It's really nice. Ooh, more healing sessions. Oh, I love that. So maybe now take the time, as you've thought about what you're going to do for your human awakening, and put it to paper. Putting it to paper, witnessing it, observing it, seeing your excitement, identifying what brings you joy, and giving yourself permission to go and do it. Prioritize being here. No more excuses about, well, that was holding me down, or I've got that relationship that's not good. Say goodbye to it. Let's start honoring you. Self first. Self priority is not selfish. There is a healthy sense of ego. Ego is not bad. When it becomes egocentric, then it's really difficult because all you're looking at is yourself. And we want you to experience the whole world here. So enjoy this journey. I'm so happy you are here. I'm so happy you are alive. And I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. I hold a very special place for you. Remember, this is not woo-woo. It's true. I hope to see you next week. We'll be here chatting again. And maybe in some of the Learn It Live classes or healings, maybe in the Psychomantium, discover some Reiki. I would love to help you out. Take care, everyone. Bye.